go. Just need to get this Instagram feed up. And there it is. We are ready to go. I am Coach James. I'm the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics, you ask? Glad you asked. Even if you didn't ask, All About Aerodynamics is a science program where we use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including, but not limited to, friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic force, a range of topics. After we have covered all the science topics, after we have created experiments to check and drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the class. Once they've selected their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they check the year the car was manufactured, the materials the car is made of. Everything that they can observe, they note that in a spreadsheet, and after they've made all their observations, they've conducted the experiments, they've learned the science, all that's left to do is set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip. They race the cars. We have a little tournament. They see how their cars perform. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again? Or would they make a different choice based on everything that they have learned in the course? At the end of the day, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars and we learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information about our science program, All About Aerodynamics, and how to bring it to your school or your organization or your special event, then you can just go to our website, AAAerodynamics.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, AAAerodynamics, and all the information you need is in the bio. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is All About Aerodynamics presents Wind Tunnel Wednesday. So what is that? Well, we have the Funtech Labs Windsible, which is a 1/64th scale wind tunnel, so we can put Hot Wheels, Matchbox, 1/64th scale die-cast cars into the wind tunnel. We turn it on, we see the airflow over, under, and around those cars, and we can make some determinations about how those cars will be impacted by drag when we race on our track. Well, when do we race on the track? Every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific on YouTube and Twitch. AtTheTrack.live, we introduce new cars into our fleet. I mentioned that I bring 400 cars in for the students to use, but in the fleet there are currently 942 cars. So there are 942 cars, and every week I go into storage, take cars that I bought but haven't introduced into the fleet, crack those open, shoot a little video, take my picture, we do a little review, and since the track is already set up, we have a tournament and race the cars. But wait, there's more. You have the opportunity to participate in At The Track Live by selecting a car to race. Well, how do you do that? Well, you go to that address down there, AtTheTrack.live, and there are 3 options. There's the YouTube stream link, the Twitch stream link, but the third link is the most important link. That is the link that says choose your car. If you select that link, it will take you to this page. And on this page, all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics At The Track Live fleet are listed, cataloged, numbered, and you can scroll through, check out all the cars we have. We have cars from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. We have some cars that were just released in the last few weeks. And once you find the car you think would be fastest, all you have to do, you can click on that car. Let's say you think it's this one for some reason, the Scorpedo, number 74. You click on that, you can check it out, you can see in the reflection if it's a plastic body on a metal base or a metal body on a plastic base, or in some cases with our older cars, metal on metal. And if that's the car that you think is going to be faster than the cars that I introduced, all you have to do is take the number, in this case 74, you drop it in the chat, I will pull the car, and then we will race. You will be entered into the tournament. It's just that simple. And we have every type of car. We have cars modeled after real cars. We have fantasy cars. We have character cars, cars that are designed after spiders, dinosaurs, a taco, a slice of cake. We have one that's a sushi roll. We have a Jello mold car. We have tanks, trucks, We have buses, we have airplane themed cars, boat themed cars, whatever kind of Hot Wheels car it is that you're into, we have some version of that in the fleet. If you know the specific name of the car that you're looking for, then you don't have to scroll through all 42 cars in our list. If you know the name of the car, you can just tell me and I can just check the master spreadsheet and let you know. If you are into Batmobiles, Lamborghinis, or Mustangs, we've got plenty of those. Or Batmobiles. Batmobiles, we have a ton of Batmobiles. We have this car that's designed after a hot dog. We have some Mattel cars in there. They tend not to do as well on the track, but they are in there. And there you go. So all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, select the Choose Your Car tab, find the car that you want to race, and give me the number. I'll pull it, and we will race it. But today, you can go through that same process, but if you pull the car, if you give me a number for a car, I'll pull it, but it will be put in the wind tunnel. Why is that good? Because in the wind tunnel, we get a sense of how much drag is going to impact the car on the track for most of the cars that we put in. Some of the fantasy cars, it's a little hard to tell, but for most of the cars, you can get an idea about the impact of drag. And drag is going to be probably the most significant force that's going to impact these cars on our track. So if you can find a car that can reduce the impact of drag, then you are going to have a better shot of winning the tournament. And if you win the tournament, you will be the week's winner. But then you will also have the opportunity to take on our fastest in fleet car. Our fastest in fleet car is the car that has won the tournament the previous week, and is this car right here. It is the Blitzspeeder. The Blitzspeeder is currently our fastest in fleet car. It is the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. It is a 3-time champion here. It was pulled out of a bin of loose cars and given an opportunity to race. Turns out it's pretty fast. It beat out the cars it was racing against, and ultimately it ended up being our champion for 17 weeks. At the end of those 17 weeks, the Blitzspeeder was beaten out by the Gazella R. The Gazella R went on to be our champion for about 16 weeks until it was beaten out, and it was beaten out by the Blitzspeeder. We had a return match. So the Blitzspeeder came back, avenged its defeat, and ended up a 2-time champion. Blitzspeeder went on. Blitzspeeder was then defeated by the Dogfighter, which was the ultimate sleeper car. After the Blitzspeeder was defeated by the Dogfighter, it went on to be set aside for about 20 minutes because the Dogfighter took on the Slide Kick. The Slide Kick came in, beat the Dogfighter, and therefore the Slide Kick became the champion. Well, here comes the Blitzspeeder again, challenging the Slide Kick. Blitzspeeder beat the Slide Kick to become our 3-time fastest in fleet car. So the Blitzspeeder is the car that your car will go up against if you happen to win the tournament on Saturday. But today, this is where you find the car that is going to be faster than the Blitzspeeder. And that is going to be something that is not going to be an easy thing to do, but that's why we race the cars. And the odds are that out of those 942 cars, there's at least one car. There's one car we know can beat the Blitzspeeder, and it's done it multiple times. But we also have the possibility that there are other cars in there that can beat the Blitzspeeder. So we always start off with the Blitzspeeder as the first car in the wind tunnel. Well, typically it's the Blitzspeeder because we start off with the fastest in fleet car, and the Blitzspeeder has been our fastest in fleet car the majority of the time that we have been doing at the Track Live. Actually, I think all except 1 week, it has been our fastest in fleet car, other than the week that the Dogfighter took the title. So we are going to take a look at the Blitzspeeder in the wind tunnel. So let's switch over to our wind tunnel view, which is right here. I'm going to take the Blitzspeeder, drop it in, and let me make sure I've got it lined up properly. And I have ordered Windsible, the company, or Funtech Labs, the company that makes the Windsible, has come up with new smoke nozzles. And so when I turn this on, you're going to see 5 smoke streams come out. But they have created something that allows you to kind of adjust how the smoke streams flow out. So I'm still waiting on that to arrive, and once it does, then we'll test it out and see what we can get. But for now, we're going to see our classic 5 smoke stream wind tunnel setup. This is the Blitzspeeder, our fastest in fleet car. So let's go ahead and get this cranked up. And the Blitzspeeder, we are looking at the car is moving at 67. This is 67 miles per hour. Just trying to get. There is a. Let's see. We have some smoke. Some of the smoke kind of just drifting in a little oddly because there is a little issue with the main smoke nozzle. And let's see what happens when we turn this up, if we can get some of that flow out of the way. That's a little better. Alright, so we're turning this up. We are at 121 miles per hour. And let's see. We're going up to 147. And what we see with the Blitzspeeder is what we have typically seen from the Blitzspeeder, which is that airflow hits the front of the car, comes up over the top, and flows right from the hood to the windshield, to the roof, right across the top, and then off the back. And that is pretty much the ideal situation. Let's go ahead and turn smoke streams up a bit. It's up to 174 miles per hour. And what you'll see with some other cars is that right in this area, right around the middle of the roof line, that the air stops following the contours of the body and just sort of breaks off. And that is definitely not what you want. You don't want that little boundary layer broken and for that flow separation to occur where the air just drifts off, because it ends up creating lower pressure, which ultimately works against the car's forward momentum and creates a pressure drag situation. So what we're looking at is, I'm not going to say the perfect car, but pretty close to perfect as far as what we want to see inside the wind tunnel, which is that air hitting the car, coming up over the top, and then off of the back. That is pretty much exactly what we want to see. And it's one of the reasons why the Blitzspeeder has been so successful on our track, because it is able to reduce the impact of drag. And there are 3 forces that are working against the cars. That is gravity, drag, and friction. And all those forces are working to slow the car down. So any car that can minimize the impact of those forces is going to do better. And drag is the main force that these cars, by their design, have an opportunity to impact. So with the Blitzspeeder, we can see that, yes, there's going to be some friction drag, but from the air, moving across the body of the car, the surface of the car. But for the most part, this is what you want to see. The air just flowing right over the body of the car, not really being disrupted all that much, and the Blitzspeeder. There are, you know, very few cars that have even challenged the Blitzspeeder at this point. So what we have is the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. But it has been beaten. It's been beaten twice. So you can't really say that it's not possible that another car could beat it. We just haven't found that car. So this is what we're looking at with the Blitzspeeder. Let's push this up to 188 miles per hour. And again, you just see that perfect flow of air right over the car. There is no, I mean, we'll see it with other cars, but we'll see that this smoke stream with other cars gets disrupted, and sometimes you'll see the air just kind of tailing off up into the atmosphere, and it's not what you want to see. This is what you want to see. So any car that's going to beat the Blitzspeeder is most likely to have a similar aerodynamic profile to the Blitzspeeder. Now the Dogfighter, which is the car that beat the Blitzspeeder, doesn't have that going for it. The Dogfighter is the most unconventional car that we've had on the track, and it beat the Blitzspeeder. So that's pretty significant. Pretty significant, because the Blitzspeeder rarely has competition. But we are going to we're going to find out something about the Blitzspeeder this week, because we've got a special little challenge that I'll talk about in a few minutes. But that is the Blitzspeeder. And this is the newer version of the Blitzspeeder. This one is the one that you can find in stores now. And the other one, the yellow one that I showed earlier, that is our fastest in fleet version of the Blitzspeeder. But we've had Blitzspeeder versus Blitzspeeder races before, and it's not that particular, it's not that the yellow car, the yellow version of this car, is special. It's not. So this one, that one, which is our champion, is not, that specific car is not the thing that's special. Because we've raced it against other Blitzspeeders, and the other Blitzspeeders the races have been pretty close. So it's the design, and it's the ability of this car's design to reduce the impact of drag that makes it so effective on our track. Oh, hey, Roughshod and Virgo, how you doing? But now what we're going to do, and as a matter of fact, Roughshod sent me a picture of, there's another Blitzspeeder in stores now with a different color setup, and I'm sure I will pick that one up. I have about 3 of these around here so far. But here's something that we are about to do. Since these are out in stores now, I could afford to do a little experimentation with these. So the other day I bought a second Blitzspeeder like that, like this green one. But here's what I did. I popped off the driver's canopy and the shell. And so now, if I take this one, put it here, cars are identical, but this one no longer has this canopy. And so what we see when we put this car in the wind tunnel, the regular Blitzspeeder, is that air hits the front, goes up the hood, the windshield, the roof, right to the back, tails off the end. Perfect. No disruption in the airflow, anything like that. And we just saw it in the wind tunnel. But now, with this one, now that it doesn't have that, the question is, what happens to that airflow? It's going to happen the same at the front. It's going to hit the front, hit that bumper, come up on the hood. But then when it gets to this point, what happens when it gets to this driver's cockpit area? Because we've had some other cars that have had open areas, And the thinking is that once that airflow is going to come from the hood, and then it's just going to, kind of separate, that should impact it should change the impact of drag on this car and change its performance. So we are going to have to find out, and we're going to race these cars on Saturday, but we're going to take this one right here and put it in the wind tunnel. We can just take a look at what's happening on the inside of the Blitzspeeder. Just a little two-seater situation. Not too much to it, but let's see what it looks like in the wind tunnel without the benefit of that canopy. And the other thing that's going to happen is it's going to change the weight. I don't know how much it's going to change the weight. We'll find that out on Saturday. But I was working on making the video racer and finding a base for that. And I should put the wheel stands under this, but we just ran it without them. So I want to compare sort of apples to apples. Close this down. And when I was working on the video racer, there are these little adhesive tabs that I was adding onto the cars to make sure that they would so that the video camera could attach to the cars. And we were weighing the cars, but then the adhesive pads, they had some weight to it, so they added usually about a half a gram, 2 grams, something like that to the cars. So taking that cover off is going to change, and we can already see right now, even at 67 miles per hour, that air is coming up and it's going into that area, and then it's bouncing out. It's going in, hitting the seats or whatever in that back area, and then it's coming up. And so that's at 67 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and turn this up and see what we see. So the thing I'm noticing is right here, that this airflow right here, we weren't seeing that before when we had the Blitzspeeder in there with the cover on. When it had the cover on, this airflow was very smooth, just right up over the top. Now, the air is clearly coming up over the top, going down into this area, and then coming up. So that means that there is going to be, at least from the looks of this, there's going to be some additional drag right in this area. I mean, this area is causing additional drag, and that should slow this thing down. How much? I don't know. We're at 107 miles per hour. Let's turn it up. This is 134. And you can definitely see what's happening. Now, the question is, does this additional drag, will that be sort of nullified by the fact that we lowered the weight by taking that plastic cover off? So we have a lighter weight car with more drag. I don't know if that's what that's going to mean, and we won't really know for sure until we hit the track, but there is definitely more resistance now with the air going into that driver's cockpit area. Let's push this up 161 miles per hour. And you can pretty much see, like right here, you see like a little dip where it's dipping down. And then at the lower speeds, that stream was easier to see. But the air is coming up, kind of dipping down, hitting those seats and going into that area, and then coming back up over the top. And the regular Blitzspeeder doesn't have those issues. That airflow is smooth. And let's push this up 174 miles per hour. And yeah, this is going to be interesting Saturday to see if the Blitzspeeder with no cover is able to beat out the Blitzspeeder with a cover. Now, before I took that off, I did race these two Blitzspeeders, this one and the other one. Pushed this up to 188 miles per hour. And I raced them about 20 times just to see if there was one car that showed that it was always fastest or more dominant. And it turns out that it was pretty even in terms of which car won the race, so that's fine. But now we're going to race them without that top and see how much of a difference that actually makes. And I think at the lower speed you could see, like you can see there, like the path that the air is kind of taking when it flows over this car. And especially right there at this, now I turned it down to 80 miles per hour, you can just see that air just flowing out. And the only reason it would flow out like that is if it went down into this area, into that cockpit. If it wasn't going down there, it would just simply flow over the top, but that's not what's happening. So this car definitely is going to encounter more drag, but how that's going to affect the performance, we still don't know yet. So let's go ahead and take this. I'm going to put these blocks in there. Put this block here. Put the other one back here. And this will raise the car up just a little bit. Let's see if there's any kind of difference as far as what we're seeing out of this car. Make sure it's lined up right. All right. See if there's any difference now that it's just raised up just a little. And usually when that air first comes in, you can see whatever path smoke is going to take. Whatever path the air, and you could see it went right down into that area, came back up, and you can see that. Push this up a little bit, the speed. And yeah, it's still, the same thing is still happening. It's just a little, it's not as clear as it was before I put the wheel stands in there and raised the car up. But this will be interesting. Like I usually don't, I don't modify the cars so that they will race better. I know there's channels that do things, they put graphite on the wheels and different things like that. I don't do any of that. And the only reason I'll modify a car is to get it to fit inside the launcher or for some kind of experiment. And this one is for some kind of experiment. So on Saturday, we will race the Blitzspeeder Convertible against the regular Blitzspeeder and see if, taking that top off, how much of a difference that makes. Or maybe we'll be surprised, and because of the weight that the Blitzspeeder has lost, maybe that makes the difference there. So we'll see on Saturday. This was another car that we raced on Saturday, the Decidedly Go, and it has a Magic 8-Ball theme, and it's got little it's got the little Magic 8-Ball dice in the bottom. There's no liquid in there, so it doesn't just float up. So if you want to see the answer, you kind of have to hold it up and look under the bottom. So if I ask this thing, is the convertible Blitzspeeder going to be faster than the regular Blitzspeeder? Let's see what answer it gives. The answer is the fact that it's upside down makes it very hard to read. The answer is try again, or ask again. All right, I guess we'll have to ask again later. Anyway, there was a Roger Dodger 8-ball themed car, and I don't remember if that one had a little dice at the bottom. I think it may have just had a sticker that had one of the typical Magic 8-ball answers, but this one, it didn't do too well on the track on Saturday. And if you want to see how it did, you can go to our YouTube page and click the live tab and check out the episode. There are time codes, you can jump right to it. But this one, it was just an interesting car. Kind of like that cone shaker that we had, where it was just a safety cone sitting there in the middle of a car, or the car was built around a safety cone, one or the other. But with this one, let's go ahead and stick it in the wind tunnel. I'm just curious to see what the airflow happens to the airflow when it hits the 8-ball. Does it just follow the surface of the 8-ball and kind of curve around, or will it be like all the other cars and hit the front of the 8-ball and come up and then just flow off into the atmosphere? So let's go ahead and take a look at this one, the Decidedly Go, and see what we see. Get this here. 8-ball. I mean, we race fantasy cars, we race regular cars, whatever car, if it has 4 wheels, we'll race it. And I have to specify 4 wheels because we've had some 3-wheelers, but those 3-wheelers unfortunately can't race on our track because they end up with one wheel in the center of the track where there's a gutter, so that for the launchers, so that doesn't work out. All right, this one, it's a little taller. It's kind of raised up a little bit. We might have to take the wheel stands out just to get this low to where it should be, so that we can see the impact of the different smoke streams. All right, let's go up to cruising speed 67 miles per hour, and you can see already, I think that's probably my favorite look, is right when that sort of first blast of air come into the wind tunnel, because you can see immediately what path the air is taking once it hits the interacts with the car. So push it up to 94 miles per hour. You see a lot of air building up at the front right here, where you get that brighter white color. The air is hitting that 8-ball and just flowing up over the top, and it looks like it is coming down, flowing over the top and coming back down. You can kind of see the bend, or not kind of, you can see the bend in the airflow right there. Let's go ahead and turn this up. It's at 94. We're going up to 134. And it seems like there's the surface area here where the air is hitting the front of the 8-ball and then having to go over, under, and around it. Or not under, but around it or over it. Push the speed up. 161. And then, I mean, we've also got air the same way that the air is going. You see that bend where it's going over the 8-ball. We also have air coming around the sides. So let's go ahead and move this just a little. Take a look. It's not really too much we can take away from that view, but you can definitely see what the actual 8-ball part of the car is doing to that airflow. Push this up to 174 miles per hour, and This is the Decidedly Go. And I guess looking at it now, I can kind of see why it didn't do so well. We've got this air building up right in the front. It's coming over the top. And then just hits the 8-ball. And yeah, this car just didn't do much on the track. Didn't do much. But it is an interesting concept. So that's at 174 miles per hour. Dropping this back down. All the way back down. The Decidedly Go. And this, yeah, we've had, I don't know, the Funtech Labs. They're kind of cranking out 1/64th scale projects left and right, and it is, if you're looking for something for your die-cast car, their stuff is very expensive, but you know, they're making some unusual things. Now, we had good luck pretty much with the Windsible. I'm still happy with the Windsible. The Runsible, however, not so much. That didn't really work out, especially when we put it inside the Windsible. It just didn't. It was taking up space. It was blocking the airflow. It just wasn't what I'd hoped, but that is just me. Now, if you want a 1/18th or 1/24th scale Windsible Wind Tunnel, and you've got a spare $600, you can grab one. That was the price they were selling them for about a week ago. So, all right, let's see. Rough shot, 319 and 359. 319, let's see what that is. 319. All right, here we go. 319, is that what I saw? Okay, the Sharkruiser. I don't remember if the Sharkruiser is the one with that gimmick where it the mouth moves while the car moves, but we are going to find out. So 319 and then 359. The Supervolt. Supervolt, for some reason, reminds me of a car that you picked recently. But, okay. So we've got the Supervolt, and we have the Sharkruiser. So let me go and grab those. Let's see, 319 and 359. I think it's interesting. You have one kind of off the wall pick, and then another that is a lot more standard. So let me double check. 319. Grab that over here. Let's see. 319. We are talking about Sharkruiser. Got it right here. Let's go ahead and okay. So the Sharkruiser. Get it up here and switch that view. So the Sharkruiser does not have any kind of little thing with the wheel to make the mouth move. The mouth is stationary. It is just it is what you see there. It is a shark inspired car, and of course, so you presume that the body of the shark is going to have all the aerodynamic style and properties that we're looking for. The back end of the car, now this is interesting. It's got this big tail right here, which should be pretty good as far as pressing up right against the launching block, and that should help it get a good solid launch. And we might as well go ahead and put this in the wind tunnel, because with these fantasy cars, sometimes it's pretty hard to tell just looking at them. This is plastic. All this is plastic. I don't think there's any. I don't think this is metal at all. Well, I'm trying to see. Yeah, the purple, this lavender part is metal. So the lavender part is metal. All that silver and all that black, that's all plastic. So it should be pretty good on the weight. And let's go ahead and pop over and check this out. The Sharkruiser. I mean, those aerodynamics at the front, you can't deny that. Let's see, I might need to back this up a little bit. See what we got. We're putting these cars in. The Sharkruiser. There's another Shark. There's at least, I think there are 2 other Shark-themed cars, and I know one is an ID car, and I'm pretty sure that one's been picked. That one's not bad. This one, let's go ahead and see what we see. When that air first comes out, we'll see the path that it takes. Just kind of settles in. We're at 67 miles per hour, which is the cruising speed. And I'll be happy when I get that nozzle, because that new nozzle setup, because what I'm noticing is we get a lot of bleed initially from the existing nozzle, which has a piece that came loose that I need to glue back into place. But let's go ahead and turn this up, see if we get a better look at what exactly is going on. Up to 121 miles per hour, and air is flowing right up over the top of that shark. And then the Windsible said, yeah, I'm shutting down. But we are going to not be deterred by that and just fire it right back up, because we still need to see how the air is going to interact with this Sharkruiser at a higher speed. And I think everything looks, let's go ahead and push this up. Up to 121 miles per hour. And it looks like the air is pretty much just flowing right up over the top of the shark. And once it passes the dorsal fin, it just flows to the back across. Because remember, the shark body just kind of tails down until it hits this this wing in the back here. And yeah, so Rough Shotty's saying it's better than he initially thought. Yeah, me too. I think my first negative thought was, I was thinking that this was one of those cars that had the little tab on the wheel, so that every time the wheel went around, the mouth would move. But that's not the case. This is all one sealed piece. That top part, that air's just hitting it, flowing right up over the top. Plus you have the thing of the weight of this car. And so this is not a bad pick. Let's go ahead and push this up to 174 miles per hour. See if we get any kind of different. Are we seeing anything different? Let's go ahead and sort of rotate this in. And basically the air is just splitting right down the middle. Just with the shape of the car, with it being that shark shape, you know. Oh, well, here's something. If you look at that back, the wing, the tail, it is curved. So that will change what is pressing up against the launching block when this thing does race, if this is the car that Roughshod ends up going with. That could make a little bit of a difference in terms of what kind of push this car gets, but I think it's a good pick that I wouldn't have thought to pick, because I thought it was a different. I thought it was a gimmick car. I mean, it is a gimmick car, but it doesn't have an actual working gimmick. So, yeah, that's not too bad. So we're up at 188 miles per hour. Let's see, behind the teeth, is there a gap? I think it's just all black plastic. Like that silver part, like right in this area, that's all solid plastic. There's no holes in that. So this is up to 188 miles per hour. We have the Sharkruiser. We're going to pull this down, and then we're going to take a look at the other car that Roughshod's considering, which is this one right here. And what was this? The Super Volt. This is pretty. I mean, when you compare it to the Sharkruiser, this is a pretty standard car, and I think it's got that wing pushing high at the roof line, which we've seen cars that have that set up be successful in the past. Everything else about it's pretty traditional. Now it does have the engine kind of sticking up through the hood, and that is probably going to impact the airflow, because that air is going to hit that front bumper, come up on the hood, and then it's going to encounter the motor, and then it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to start to just flow up. We're going to see a gap here. I don't think it's going to reattach. The airflow, I don't think it's going to reattach back to the roof line. And then in the back here, we've got a parachute, but that parachute does... it looks like it either just barely sticks out, just there's a little bulge right there. It either barely sticks out a little more than the wing, or the wing is touching, but I don't think either way it's going to be a problem so much for this car. But let's go ahead and drop it in the wind tunnel and see what we see from the Super Volt. So yeah, that motor might be a problem, but we are going to find out. So we've got the, let's get this thing lined up just right. Over the back end. Okay. All right, the Super Volt. Let's see what we've got here. And of course, that engine, when you put it in like this, the engine is just looking more like it's going to be more of an issue. And it's really just, so let's see what happens when we get this air flowing in. Let's look at how the air flows. You can see it hits that engine, has to come up over the top. This is metal. This is it's a metal body on a plastic base. Hey, yeah, sorry. I should have the microphone like right in the middle. I'm trying to find a different setup, because when I go to the other side where I have the cars set up, I'm turned away from the microphone, and then when I'm back over here by the wind tunnel, that's closer to where the microphone is. So I am trying to figure out a place to put it, but I will have to remember to speak up louder when I turn my head in the other direction until I can find a better placement. All right, so we are at 107 miles per hour. This car is metal on, I'll have to check the bottom, but I believe it's metal on plastic. That engine sticking up is definitely plastic. And we can kind of see at 134 miles per hour that engine is having an impact to a degree. The air's hitting that bumper, coming up, hitting the engine, kind of flowing over, under, and around, or not under, but over and around that engine. And then it kind of reconnects here and flows toward the back, which we can see there. Let's go ahead and turn the speed up. Pushing up to 161 miles per hour. And there is definitely yeah, if that engine wasn't there, I'd be a lot more, I'd have a little more confidence, because I do see, you can kind of see the path that airflow is taking, kind of pushing up right in this area. And seems like Roughshod has seen all he needs to see. He is going wild with the Shark, and I like that pick. And again, this is up to 201 miles per hour. We can just see the air just flowing up this way. It's coming in, hitting this engine, and then right here you can see it where it starts to flutter up. And as we were mentioning before, ideally you want that airflow to stay following the curves and lines of the body, and you don't want that little boundary layer. You don't want that separation. Once you have that separation, it's kind of lights out, because now you're changing, creating a lower pressure situation, and ultimately that is going to create a pressure drag that's going to work against the forward momentum of the car, and it's going to slow it down. So this is the Super Volt, but the Super Volt will have to wait another day to race, because Roughshod has decided to go with the Shark, and the Sharkruiser is going to be hitting the track, and we will find out if it can become another of these cars with the crazy sort of design. And I'll show it up close. Let me speak up louder and adjust the microphone a bit, so we can see here. You can see a little closer that yeah, it's all plastic under there, and there are no openings between the teeth. And now you can pretty much see that let me adjust the focus right there, that it's not there's nothing, no gaps that I see. So this should be pretty interesting. The Sharkruiser, and it feels light. I wouldn't be surprised if that is in the probably in the high 20s, maybe. It definitely feels light. It's gonna be a lighter car. If it can creep up to that 32 gram range, right about there, then we might have a serious challenger for the title. So that will be something to look for. Hey Christopher, how you doing? So here's the thing, because there is a hard kind of cap on Instagram. It will go after about an hour. It will shut this off. The height of the car, it doesn't seem too bad if we put it next to this. I don't remember if we had to use the taller cover, but I don't think we will. I think that this will be, I think the Shark car will be good. Although I am wondering about. No. It's going to be good. So we've got that. It's not too tall, and let's go ahead and do this. Oh, so what I was saying, Christopher, is Instagram gives us, there's a kind of hard 1 hour cutoff. So we're just pushing up against that. So what I'll do is on Saturday, I will pull your 2 cars, and I will let you take a look at those in the wind tunnel, and you can basically make your decision right on the spot about which one you want. Let's see, 600 and 900. So socks. we had the 8-ball car. It raced on this past Saturday, and it didn't do so well. But I think, what you're saying is that 8-ball, while it's not, it's round, so the air is going to flow around it. It's still just a big, a lot of surface area, and I think it definitely did not help the car. That air hit it, came off the back, and as we saw in the wind tunnel, there was a lot of turbulence that occurred after the air passed over the top and around the sides. So when we got to the back and sort of the back corners, there was a lot of turbulence, and that kind of turbulence just is not good for cars on the track. You want to reduce the amount of drag, and reducing the amount of drag is the thing. That is how you try and match up with the Blitzspeeder. So one thing, Christopher, you may have missed earlier, is that we have this Blitzspeeder, but then we took this other Blitzspeeder and removed the top. So now we created a convertible Blitzspeeder. So that is one of the races that we're going to have on Saturday, 11 a.m. at the Track Live. In addition to whichever of the 2 cars that Christopher ends up going with, and we've got Roughshod's Shark car, and anyone else, any other viewers who decide that they want to select a car, all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, and you select the choose a car option, and you will be taken to our page that has it has 942 different cars listed. All you have to do is scroll through, find the car that you're interested in, and we will pull it, and we will race it. So let's see, Christopher is going to be considering between 2 cars. One is number 600. Let's take a quick look before we go, and we'll pop these. So one of his considerations is this one. Now this is interesting because all of the cars in the fleet are Hot Wheels or Matchbox cars, except this one. This is the Bubba Wallace, that Black Lives Matter Camaro that he raced a while back. And let me go. And this one is made by whatever company makes the NASCAR series. I forget offhand what company it is, but it's not Mattel. So it's not a Hot Wheels, it is not a Matchbox, and this is the only car that we have in the fleet that is not one of those 2 brands. So this, I forget how this one did when it raced, but the weight was pretty good. The detail on these particular brand of cars, NASCAR Cups here, but I've forgotten what company makes these. So this is going to be interesting. So 600 is one he's considering, and then the other one is number 900, which would be a more recent car to have raced, and that is this Ford Falcon, this Xbox. Now I do remember this racing. This wasn't too long ago. This was probably only about if we do 6 cars, probably about a month and a half ago that this car raced. I don't remember exactly how it did, but okay. So we've got some good solid picks. So what I'll do is on Saturday I will grab those 2 cars. I will have them ready and we'll pop them in the wind tunnel. You can take a look, see the impact of drag, what the aerodynamic profile is on those cars, and then make your choice, and then we will add it to the group. So we already have the Shark car. We'll have your pick. We'll have some cars that I'm pulling out of storage. We're gonna have this Blitzspeeder Convertible versus Blitzspeeder Traditional race, and good times, whatever cars anyone else picks. So join us on Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific, at the track live. Hot Wheels races, reviews. We take the cars to our 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip, and may the best car win. And to this point, the best car has kind of consistently been the Blitzspeeder, but it's not totally unbeatable. It has been beaten, so maybe we can find another car to beat it. Maybe it's this Shark car. Maybe it's one of the 2 cars Christopher's looking at. All right, so that is what we've got going on. I've also narrowed down the video racer cars, created the bases. I think now there are about 6 or 7 different cars that we have for consideration. I just have to finish the setup so that we can actually watch them. I'm going to do a speed test with those, and I have a speedometer track set up, and we're going to check the speed, and the fastest car is going to end up being the new base for the new video racer. So that is something that is also coming up. So until Saturday, I am Coach James for All About Aerodynamics, for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, and for At the Track Live. Until next time, I will see you at the races.